So, are you a father that recently had a child with someone and you're not married? Guess what? You have no legal rights to that child. So, what can you do? So, you would need to file what's called a legitimation. So, a petition for legitimation would essentially outline that you have a biological child and that you wish for that child to be declared your legal child. And then after that, you would be able to have rights to that child, which would also include you being able to see that child and have essentially a parenting plan with that child. So, a legitimation is going to be two sections. So, it's going to be the actual legitimation, which I always like to say is the umbrella, and that's the actual process of legalizing your bond with your child. Under the legitimation, you would also be allowed to petition the court for parenting time, a parenting plan. Say, for example, that the mother of your child is refusing to let you see them. A parenting plan would put a kibosh to all of that. Then it would also put into place child support because in Georgia, both parents have a obligation to financially support their child. So then child support would be put into place and it would be figuring out how much is owed as it relates to child support and what does that look like? How does one prove that they're a fit parent? Well, a lot of times the assumption is that you are a fit parent. And then the other side, they might have to show that you're unfit in some way. So, how might they do that? They may show, for example, that you have a lengthy criminal history. They may show that you've been absent. Say, for example, that your child is 8 years old and you've only seen them once or twice a year since they've been born. They may show that you have some sort of issue with addiction, like drugs or alcohol. These are probably most of the common things that are shown as to why a parent is not fit. And as long as you don't really fall into any of those categories, then the Georgia courts are going to want to award you some sort of right because that's in the best interest of the child to have a relationship with both parents. So there is this stereotype that it's only mothers that get primary physical custody. But we're in 2025 now, and that narrative has been changing for quite a while. And I have gotten plenty of my male clients primary physical custody. So the question that you may have now is, well, how can I get that for me? So, in terms of getting primary physical custody, the number one question it's always going to be, well, what's in the best interest of the child? So, with that, there's going to be another set of questions that judges will typically go through and try to figure out and determine that. There is a statute that a lot of the judges will favor that literally just outlines all of these things. So judges will typically look to the statute. It's OCGA 19-9-3. And this will have a list of several factors that judges will typically look on and rely as to, well, which parent should get primary physical custody. So some of those factors are things such as, well, which parent has more familiarity with the child's needs? So which parent would know who the pediatrician is? Which parent is more in touch with the children's teachers? Which parent are going to all of those conferences and IEP meetings? Which parent are going to those doctor's appointments? Another factor may be consistency. Which parent has resided at the same residence for a long time? Which parent has more of a family structure to help them raise the child? These are just some of the factors that the court will look to. And if the father is able to tick off more of those boxes than the mother, then the court will grant them primary physical custody because at the end of the day, it's about what is in the best interest of the child. So, if you are a father and you have a current parenting plan that you are not happy with, then your next step would be to file what's called a modification. And that could be a modification of either the custody or of the parenting plan, or even of some of the other issues such as child support. So, say for example that you are currently in a parenting plan in which the mother is the primary physical custodian, but recent circumstances has occurred to where you feel as though that is no longer in your child's best interest and you would like to have primary physical custody. Your next step would be to file a petition for modification of custody. And in that petition, you would essentially outline all of the reasons for why that primary custody should be changed from the mother to you. And that would be your option for if you wanted to change anything as it relates to any existing plan involving you and your child. If you have any other questions as it relates to fathers' rights and legitimation, feel free to reach out to us here at Daniels and Taylor.